Every action has a reaction, and every problem has a solution.
All right, welcome back then. So that was our first three classes, the point man, the sniper, and the scout. Let's dive straight into game number 2 on Quarry, a very different map. And if any of you plays the closed beta, this is going to be new to you as well, as a brand spanking new map here, first time you're going to see it. Quarry, unlike Deforestation,
Very
is a
unlike.
very small map. Yeah, please talk me through Quarry and where it differs exactly.
Well, Quarry's, to start with, it's way smaller than the first one. And it's very linear, and due to the fact that it's confined within this quarry geometry. So this doesn't allow for much flanking, so to say.
Yeah, it's one we saw very early, very fast aggression, and as closed beta players, it's also new to you, so as that goes with our community players here too. We saw them play it for the first time this morning, and the strategy they came up with from round to round were very vastly different, as they were trying to learn what works best and learn where to go from each spawn position. So this could all be brand spanking new from us again here. We'll see what it is they've thought up and come up their sleeve. You can immediately see from the start of the round, it's an instantly more aggressive beginning, whereas you see on Deforestation, some squads like to take it slower and sit back and drone first and find information. Right off the back here in Quarry, it's very important to get up fast, get to your front line, get to your favourite positions, and get stuck in there with everyone in their right spot to then make your foothold and to start advance forward and find your opposition. It's very hard to hide because, as you say, lack of foliage, it's more linear. You know exactly exactly where your opponent's going to be coming from. You know they're going to be in that general direction somewhere, and there are a few very favourable positions everyone likes to hide in.
We're probably going to see some less scout drone use this time around.
I was going to say, less scout drone use and more artillery drone. We're already seeing it here for our developers. We're also seeing it for our community team. Both of these squads knowing the power of that displacement, knowing the power that artillery brings, getting it out early and forcing these players out of the places they want to be in from the start. This is also the one which we really saw Weaver make his mark on yesterday in our practice games. Full 4 kills, I think 2 rounds in a row, getting up on these very tall conveyor belts and just picking teams apart from up there. It's a very high-risk position to be in, because if you do die when you're up there, there's no reviving happening. But if you can get up there and get lots of shots off, you have a great vision of the whole battlefield. So the mortars are coming in. It's a great placement there from our developers. They actually managed to, from our community players, they actually managed to push 2 developers back away from the spot they wanted to be at. And while it was going on, you can see Krebser and Robo Mohawk are pushing up within the compound, within this quarry area in the middle of the fight, to try and get a bit more of a position on those developers. The recon tower, while we talked about it before, it's always a high-risk, high-reward objective. Even more so here on Quarry, because it's so exposed and the map is so small, it's very easy for people to get close to that recon tower and pick you off. So even trying to bait it as a tank is a very dangerous place to be. So mine's being placed down by artillery players, just little traps in the most common hiding spots to try and catch people out. But then he tries to run straight across the road in the middle of the map and immediately regrets that decision. Shots rattling off him from the artillery player here on your screens right now. But he gets back to safety, just lost half his health. Now remember, there's no regeneration or anything on this, so he's going to stick to that loss. More and more drones going up and instantly being taken out. As we said, it's very easy to figure out where your opponents are sitting now, so the shots on these drones are less important. Nice shot from Weaver. Yeah, takes down the opposing sniper with a very quick shot to the face. But yeah, these drones, less worry about giving your position away, more important, but getting them out of the sky so they can't call their artillery strikes in. As you just saw happen there on 2 members of the developing squad. They have to push right back now. One of them, in fact, I believe just died too, yes. Died to the artillery strike. Holt falls down to Krebs's artillery strike. And that's a painful spot for them to be in. Midas is the last man standing now, I believe.
They're moving in to control the situation.
Yeah, the buff on him. He does get 1 revive off, but the push is coming in from the community team now. Shots are there. It's immediate 1v4, but they're right on top of them. And it's a quick win for the developer team, for the community team. So, round number 1 to the community squad. Very different to what we saw early on, because in our practice games, the development team won this map hands down. As you said, it's brand new for our community squad. They'd never played it before. They had no opportunities, nothing to figure out, and the developer team rolled over them. But they're learning as they go, and yeah, as you said, the more aggressive nature this map brings, very apparent there. Once you start getting 1 or 2 kills, push that advantage home.
Yeah, the
really
front
make
line
it
is very clear in this one. There's no denying the enemies will be up in front.
Yeah, so
If you control the flanks, because there are some flanks, but they're easier to control, then it's really clear where the enemies.
we saw some very interesting mine usage on this in our practice games earlier on, and perhaps things like that will come more apparent as the game evolves and the meta is there, because, yeah, as you say, it's a limited map. There's smaller places, lesser places to be. Planting mines in the more traditional pushes could help protect you and get you back in and reviving your teams and just protecting you from those aggressive pushes. So we'll see. As they've split sides now, we see our developers coming from the slightly longer spawn and a community team starting within the buildings and within the compound. So with that, we also see a slight change in our developers' loadout. They aren't bringing artillery drone anymore. They brought the scout drone instead. So we'll see why it is they think that, what it is they believe is stronger with the scout drone than the mortar, because we just saw how powerful the mortar can be against them, as our community used it to pick up one kill and displace his teammate to the point where eventually they could turn it into a victory. Meanwhile, our community squad sticking to what they know: sniper, point man, tank and artillery, and they're going to continue with that winning formula for now. Weaver is up on some of the initial rocks. He's got these sound markers on his screen. He knows roughly where to look at. He's already won one of the 2 sniper battles today, taking Nerf Blackbeard out in the first round, and down he goes again, right next to his teammate. So we'll see if the revive comes in from Robo Mohawk, but he is very exposed behind these porta potties. Another shot rattles on through. Krebs points his head out to try and provide some cover. Darts away again after drawing the fire, and it does look like the revive will go through. But now they know where Weaver sits, and their sniper's back alive. So how's Weaver going to play it? Well, this is Quarry, so he's going to stay largely where he is for now, because there are few places that he can go, but it's a very defensible position he's already in. The other key thing we've seen people learning from this map is that as the spawn on the east side, trying to get out far to the left, out far on towards the northern edge, really helps benefit you as a teammate. Getting yourself stuck in this tight alleyway where we see Nomad and I believe it's the enemy point man fighting right now can be devastating to a defensive team. Yeah, Eroctic is the point man fighting Nomad here.
Tight spot.
Yeah, it's not a nice place to be. A barrel explosion goes off and takes down Kresba. Down he goes. There is, of course, those environmental things in here. As you said, take out explosive barrels, you can knock down buildings and create noise diversion, smash windows and stuff to attract attention, and well, that one proved to be lethal. We also saw another great shot coming out from Weaver, taking down Nerf Blackbeard for a second time. Still, of course, has those severe wounds on him too, so the revive is slow. Eroctic picked off as another man from Nomad this time around. He had him pinned that whole time, and as he tried to jump across the gap to go and revive his team, he's shut down with ease, and it leaves just Robo Mohawk to try and clear it up for his team. He's going to get that quick revive on Kresba. Straight back down again as he sticks his head up the wrong direction. Halts there. Robo Mohawk flanking Nomad, and the developers are winning one round apiece. Just like we saw with the community team. Once you get those first couple of kills on Quarry, it's very easy to snowball the following ones down because the revive chance is very low, the combat space is very low, and closing the gap is very easy.
What I saw was that once they did the first couple of kills, then they moved in to control the situation and eliminate the last guy standing. So.
Yeah, immediately closed that gap, quickly got on top of them. There's no time for them to think. Severe
very
wounds,
aggressive.
Even more beneficial because of how small the time is. As I say, it increases the revive time, makes it harder for you to get your team back up, and you can really punish that nicely. So, third and final round here on Quarry before we head to Lumbermill, our final map, another different one again. We'll see who comes out on top. Once again, we're back to our initial starting positions. The developers down here on the northern edge, and our community team spawning up on what is technically the southern edge, but the way it curves around is a bit strange. So here we see them spawning straight on through, rushing forward as much as they did before, but we're seeing Nerf Blackbeard going a very different route to what we saw previously. You can see it here on your screens, far out to the right-hand side from that spawn position. We normally see people make a more direct route from that spawn position because you can get to some favourable positions very early on. But he's taking his tank with him and going deep out to the right-hand side. They've also still got that artillery drone, which is their eye in the sky, giving them some initial information, and you can see Holt's position is marked, but no serious shots landed yet. Developers switched their scout back to an artillery drone of their own, also bringing the scout, the sniper, the enforcer, and the point man with them. There you can see the suppression on your screen has that Enforcer logo just underneath the word suppress, shows that it's the special Enforcer ability being used, not just normal suppression. Shot coming in from Blackbeard, can't quite hit Holt, but it was close. So, calls come out about Holt's position. Even though the mark has gone down, you do know roughly where he is, and of course this is Quarry. There's not a lot of place to move, so you'll see it. Nerf Blackbeard taken down again. Weaver with another great counter snipe. Told you about this map and Weaver, and he's really showing it now. Taking him down again, despite Blackbeard's slightly unconventional position, different spot up on that extra side. Still put a bullet in his brain. Krebser going to go for a revive, going to go and try and get him back on his feet. Thanks to the way his body's landed, he has fallen back down the hill a little way, and that does provide the safety to do just this. So he will come back up, despite the longer revive time, but we'll see whether or not it matters, as the rest of his team are getting pinned from double angles now. Eroctic is getting shot from two sides, and now being marked because of it. The shots are rattling in and just keeping him pinned, but Midas is immediately sniped back by Nerf Blackbeard now that he's on his feet, so it's a great return. Now all the attention
well, hello to anybody who may be watching. Sorry about earlier. I think my cat
Mortar comes out and Krebser
knocked my feed offline by jumping on my keyboard, or they stopped their feed and started another feed, and somehow it disappeared.
Meanwhile, the revive is coming in from Nomad onto.
I appreciate everybody who's
Midas,
watching. We're back up,
his feet.
as you can tell. Oh, come on.
Despite being sniped out from a distance.
We're watching Ubisoft stream Ghost War Open Beta player versus player.
The community team have taken,
so
their follow-up pushes from
that's what I'm doing, and done with my work, so I'm going to go ahead and just kick back here a little bit with you guys, and let's see what's going on. Since I'm new to all this stuff too.
Back up into a more even situation until Weaver comes out and wins the sniper war again. 3v3 now, as Nerf Blackbeard is once more down. Weaver now playing a more mobile role again as well.
Not sure why their stream is looking like crap, because it should be 1080p. Oh my god, really? Seriously?
Point man still.
Oh, that's better.
Very, very low on health, but
it should be able to be 1080, so give it a few minutes and I'll try to kick it up to 1080 for everyone.
Our community team. Holt is in a very open position thanks to that artillery strike. Nomad wants to give it.
But to everybody who plays on the PC, you can already preload it today, because I did it this morning. And I think Xbox is going to be a little bit later today. They were saying, Seven was saying, and some other people were saying earlier.
A lot of progress really being made. Yeah.
Now, I distinctly remember them saying that there were going to be massive player versus player maps, and this is far from massive. If you call being stuck in a quarry. This is their chance
to really push it home. The down players are in very exposed, separated positions now. Weaver trying to push up to try and help cover, but he has been marked, and
no,
Blackbeard has eyes on him. Going to try and shoot through that corrugated iron, as we talked about. You said the sniper penetration is
guys
a
down.
Ability, but there are two cabins there, and he went into the second one. Nomad sprints across
3
to try and
guys
get the
down,
Holt, and will be taken out as he goes, leaving Weaver alone. Nerf Blackbeard trying to land more shots onto him, but Robo Mohawk is going to be his immediate pressure as Robo Mohawk pushes up very aggressively. Grenade goes out, flashbang around one side. It doesn't land, but as he steps out, he's sniped anyway. And it's another 2-1 victory for our community team. These rounds are getting closer, but just coming out on top every little time.
Yeah, it's it always plays out differently. Always plays out differently.
Yeah, it's a very exciting round. We've seen point mans and tanks really shine on that site. We've seen them really push in and get 3, 4, 5 kills apiece. But now, as we're seeing here, we're seeing snipers come out on top. Weaver having the most kills for the developers despite their loss. On the attacking, on the community team, Nerf Blackbeard, Robo Mohawk, both with 4 kills.
I mean, if you could get up on the lip of that quarry, yeah, you could snipe the crap out of everybody from up on top if you could get up there.
That was map number 2. That was Quarry. It's a very different one to Deforestation.
But that's cool. The snipers won out, since I like to play sniper. So
artillery particularly was very strong. But we didn't see so much of was the Enforcer. Now, of our next class trailer, these are the 3 we want to focus on. So tell me about the Enforcer, because we didn't get to see it in action.
Yeah, so
again, I apologize for everybody for the stream not being all the way up, so you probably missed the first class that they talked about. We got a little bit on the second one a few minutes ago. And
negate their ability to shoot for a short period of time.
Yeah, so that suppression, which everyone can do, the Enforcer can do with his special ability much faster, much harder, and because he's running an LMG and a scope on it, you say marksman class, he can do it from a distance. He can put a lot of fire down from a long way away and suppress multiple targets.
Well, let's see what LMG they have, because when they show the screenshot, it looks like they're using the Stoner, which isn't very effective.
The artillery.
The Mark 48
played the closed beta. That artillery
is a
much
more effective.
You've made a few changes to that now here for the
suppressive weapon. If you're going with an LMG, that's the one I like to use.
Yeah,
I've actually leveled that up to
feedback, we decided
30
to switch the role
mode
of the artillery
there,
from,
so that works
from
quite well.
To more of it being a area denial. So the use that it has now is just to flush enemy players out of a particular spot, or deny advance to a particular spot.
Yeah, but as we saw, Krebs has still picked up a couple of kills with his artillery drone. You can't ignore it, even though the changes are there. You can't just sit in it the whole way through. And finally,
the artillery, well, they call it artillery, but it's a mortar. I believe it's a mortar strike drone.
What exactly is his special ability?
Basically the same thing you do when you ask Pakatari, right? Oh, call it a mortar strike. They just switched it up here for player versus player, and they're calling it a artillery strike instead. Same principle.
Unmark your teammates and mark yourself for a short duration of time. And that creates some really interesting situations. You can use that special ability preemptively at the beginning of the round to allow your teammates not to be marked from the get-go and allow them to move into flank. Or you can
final match coming up next. Wow,
a special situation such as.
And then we're going to have a recap, I think, afterwards or whatever. But I don't know how much longer the stream's going on.
The enemy team picks up their recon tower, you can hit your special ability and unmark all your teammates, which is a very powerful thing to have, actually, considering, say, 20 seconds
well, tomorrow's the 20th, so like I said,
let's take a look at our Class 2 trailer featuring the Enforcer, the artillery, and the tank.
Seems weird they didn't do it for Wednesday, but I guess they didn't want to mess up the weekly challenge. We actually get weekly. Oh, let me shut up here.
They say there's power in numbers.
Oh, okay. This is the same. I have all this stuff up on my videos. If you watch my videos, all this crap will be up there with the different classes.
Sometimes you go head to head with a whole mess of hostiles.
So they're not really showing us anything that we don't already know already in that sense.
Sometimes
old
you need
info,
a force multiplier.
But for all you who have not seen these videos yet,
you need to fight numbers with power.
It's been around for a little bit here already.
The tank comes in. A heavily armored, frontline operative. He can remove all enemy marks from his team, drawing their attention onto himself. Highly effective in a firefight.
Not that good.
The Enforcer. He has the ability to suppress enemies from far away. Uses advanced suppression to daze targets, throwing off their aim.
Yeah, he has a Mark 48.
When you're bleeding out with multiple hostiles breathing down your neck. When you're outmanned, you need a bit of shock and awe to break your enemy's will. The artillery class uses a drone that can launch a mortar strike anywhere in the air.
Yeah, but man, all he's got is a little MP5
but what about
gun,
when
which
your own
sort of
will
sucks, man, because
who's gonna
you gotta remember when you pull out your drone, yeah, you get shot. That's the problem with this game. When you pull out your drone, you're dead. So you gotta have a backup.
Welcome back then, guys. That was the Enforcer, the artillery, and the tank. Don't forget, if you want to win yourself one of these very nice 511 backpacks and this wildland patch, you can enter in the chat with !raffle, and we'll announce the winners in our
let me do that real quick.
Stick around.
Get mine back in again.
Also, if you want to play this open beta that is starting on September 21st and runs through to 25th, you can preload it right now on
get into the raffle here and win something.
And Uplay, so you might want to go and check that out if this is interesting you. We now are going to head to map number 3. It's going to be Lumber Mill. So from the surface, and the overview map is.
And again, if you want to see all the maps,
Deforestation, right?
go look at one of my videos. And Jay Ravens, I'll put up a link.
It's going to be much,
with all the maps now. They have this here because Jay Ravens already has all the screenshots with all the maps.
Probably.
So now that open beta is here.
Like you said, it's a bit more compact. And
I'm going to go ahead and post all those screenshots and all that crap because
there's also more.
Figured it can't be. It's got to be legal now because they're letting us stream and all that crap. Because I didn't want to get in trouble. I mean, I don't know. Like he may work for Ubisoft for all I know, so it was legal for him to do that, but I didn't want to. And I know this was only like 2 of us that made comments on his post.
But
I will put up all the maps. There's 12 of them all together. But they all look to be about the same size.
Is now recruit.
400 meters or so, I think, radius. That's what it's looking like to me.
Feedback. So we
maybe a little bit larger. We'll see if they, when they start out, they should have the objective. We'll see how far the objective is. But I know the lumber mill and the quarry aren't very large.
The game only allows one class per team, except the recruit. You may find yourself locked out of your favorite class, and you're forced to play with the recruit. But if you do so, we give you more options. So now with the recruit, you have an assault rifle, a LMG, and a sniper rifle, plus the ability to use a drone.
Yep, so
cool. So that's cool, because you know how sometimes everybody wants to pick their class, and whoever the last person is, they get screwed. So now if you get stuck as a recruit, you will be able to use an assault rifle, the LMG, or a sniper rifle, or the drone. So you won't be like running around half naked with nothing, and everybody else is like having a good time.
Here or in a minute.
So that's very fair. I like that.
Third and final game just about up. We can get the picture of that on your screen, I believe, and we can talk through the map overlay and what lumber mill looks like. Because as we said, it does.
Yeah, here's a lumber mill.
A little bit like Deforestation. It's a compound in the middle and trees around the edge, and a lot of foliage around the edge, but it is much smaller. So the idea for flanking is a lot riskier in doing so, and we saw more and more fights within that central compound.
Man!
So you can see on the bottom
I'm telling
side
you,
of
these maps are like way too small. Holy, forget the whole country of Bolivia. Once you can make that thing twice the size that it is, go sideways, make two long rectangles there.
Back around the other way,
oh yeah, this is small.
For a surprise.
Very small.
But then down on the other spawn, a little bit more compound, a little more open exposed. You've got to cross a road straight away.
I think of
very easy to
the one thing I think people are going to complain about is the size of the maps. I can see that already. Because I know the quarry wasn't big, and
that's one way to aim for a draw.
That's where both teams start.
Yourself in that forest over there.
Nah, man, that's like.
Recon tower, of course, still in the middle.
They need to open up. They could open up that whole area right there, make it
health
like
and
that.
ammo boxes are
The river be the boundary.
On each end of the map with this one, you can see there's a building right next to the one on the top edge.
On the east side, and then kick the west side more over to that road.
Around it. So
where the Bravo team's names are.
For most of today,
and then leave it the same height, and the north and south would be fine. But yeah, double the size of that map.
We do have everyone in and good to go. So let's start game number 3 and find out if our developers can redeem themselves and get one victory or not, because they're currently down.
This is the one they showed in their movie, in the little video clip. That's why I was surprised. I was like, holy cow, that can't be the lumber mill.
Point men in almost every game. We've seen a sniper despite the heavily foliage maps of Deforestation. But the scout, artillery, and enforcer tend to be the ones that are rotating around from all of these players. So we'll see whether that sticks true. Right now, looking at our operator section for the community team, we are looking at a scout in the mix for them again, a point man and a sniper and a tank. So again, similar to what we've seen. Bringing that scout though will help.
Okay, here we go.
This is also now our first map to see a slight weather change too.
Yep.
We are in a stormy setting. How many different weather biomes are there, and what are the setups and how we see them? Are they going to change from round to round? Are they
look at how close these guys are. They're a couple hundred meters away, so from each other.
Well, the weather will stick.
These guys look like they're going right for the objective
each round,
right
so
off the
you're going to have the same settings each round, just to give everyone the same chance. But we do have a combination of weather and time of day. So we have day, night, and the transitions in between, back and forth. And 3 weather systems: the clear day, the foggy, and the rainy, like you see now.
The rainy storm one here, yeah, so lots of different options. And of course we will have custom games in the open beta, which you guys can set down, make up, pick maps, pick weather types, and practice out and make games within yourselves, as well as the matchmaking version if you just want to jump in and play. So if you want to play with all these different weather types, if you want to play with the different maps and give that all a feel, you can do that in the open beta. So
that'll be fun then if we can do that. Then yeah, we can set the time of day, weather,
we saw
a little bit of map options, so that'll be cool to do.
The developing team on your screens saw the drone go up, saw that scout going up, but then just stopped moving. They just hid. They went prone and hid behind bushes, behind trees, so the scout drone got no information. They let it time out, they didn't shoot it down, they kept themselves hidden. Meanwhile, our community team are pushing up a little bit more on the left-hand side, and once again, we're seeing the snipers a little bit more spread from the rest. Holt, Midas, Nomad there for the developers, very close to Nerf Blackbeard now. That sniper player right out in front with his sole teammate close by to look after him. He does have a mine 25 meters in front of him, which would allow him to
put a mine down there,
but
we'll see what happens. Oh, got one player down already.
Down within the village, down within the buildings, keeping an eye on things. Drone goes up and spots Nerf Blackbeard. The shots come rattling in and take him down to half health.
I was wondering how long it takes before they start lighting each other up. And his teammate has now revealed himself by trying to return fire. So the developers know there's at least 2 players in that area. They are starting to lay some fire down onto it and push some advantage of their own. Their tank, however, is taking a beating and has to fall back himself. Nerf Blackbeard, though, is picked off and finished by Midas. Not looking good.
And his SMG. So the first advantage is developer. They're going to keep the push through. Kresber was the nearest by community player, but Robo Mohawk's making his way across. He's now right on top of Holt. They are fighting each other in point-blank range. Holt is darting around behind the locks. Robo Mohawk is casting around to try and follow him. He will get the kill, taking Holt down and making it a 3v3.
Gets back even again, 3-on-3.
So the calls come out from the community team about one more player being here. It is Nomad. The sound markers are giving Nomad's position away. Robo Mohawk is edging towards Blackbeard, but Midas is still close and has his drone back in place. So he's putting that up, see if he can use it to mark up Robo Mohawk and Krebs' positions, feed it out to the rest of his team. It is getting shot down though by Robo Mohawk. He already knows he is revealed and, well, doesn't save him this time. Midas, as soon as he's off the drone, will shoot him straight down. Krebs are going to push up and try and get close, but now Weaver and Midas are very much on that position. Nomad is lower health, but is further back. The snark markers come in. Midas will fall this time to Krebs TV. SMG fight included. Nomad pushing further forward again. Weaver here with him. They have pushed Krebs right back and away. He's gone down actually towards the main compound. Inside the middle of the map.
I wish they'd make this game
still have one member of the community team that's not in this fight. The revives are coming out from the developers, bringing the numbers back up. The point man is now flanking around behind, so Krebs has Eroctic coming here with him, but 4 developers are back on their feet. Krebs sneaking up behind Nomad without even realizing
the developer team's pulling back pretty good.
Looking for an opportunity to make this count, but if he reveals himself too soon, the support from his point man won't be there. Eroctic may be left alone, and there it is. Krebs gets found by Nomad while he's on his drone, and it's now 1v4. Point man Eroctic up against 4 developers. 3 teammates are all down. They're all in a very small space, but the developers are very close by to each one.
Developer's going to get this guy.
Being marked by the drone and being spotted. They know exactly where he is. He's going to have to toss out some flashbangs or grenades and make a break for it. He's very low health, but it will regenerate while he's got the adrenaline rush. Doesn't matter when Weaver can land a shot like that. And developers take round number 1 in convincing fashion. It's a weird situation here where we've seen a swap in roles. The round number 1, Deforestation, right at the start, developers fell down because they spread out way too much. They've lost their first couple of kills without any real support. Come back here now, round number 3, final map, first round.
I like the set,
and that's what we just saw from our community player. They spread out a little bit too far. They sent people too deep into their compound. The 2 guys that were left up top split a little bit too far apart. And the developers were very grouped up, were right on top of it, and swarmed those players before the rest of them.
I'm telling you, you got to stay close. Not too close where they can take you out with a mortar strike or a frag, but you don't want to split up, man. Splitting up in player versus player is death. You guys stick together, man, and move together as a squad. I think it's much, much better.
Perfectly still, getting them spotted and getting them marked.
Because when you start splitting up, you can get picked off too easy.
Switching positions now then, of course.
But those 3 guys, I don't know how they got down. I don't know how Alpha Team got smacked so quick.
As the last selection goes, right now we're seeing similar things again. Our developer team running a scout drone, an enforcer, a tank, and a sniper. And our community team switching their scout out for an artillery drone, also losing their point man, bringing a tank, an enforcer, and a sniper.
You can see right from the get-go that the developer team is trying to stay a bit tighter this time around, whereas the community team just spread out.
So Robo Mohawk heading up into the hills, actually towards Midas and
that's the first thing I noticed when you start spreading out and you have a player versus player.
Where he went at the start of the last
round,
of
times
and that's
it's
why
not
he was
good.
So late
well, Call of Duty, I take that back because I watch people play
game.
Call of Duty and I don't know, they don't seem to stick together as much. They're all running all over the place, bunny hopping and acting stupid. So.
To land
but
a
here,
snipe onto an important target, which we've seen
And somebody's getting the crap mortared out of them.
Finishes calling in an artillery strike. Very close to where our developers were, but as we said, it displaces them a little bit. Nerf Blackbeard puts a mine down quite close to him and makes sure his backside is covered if anyone's going to walk too close. We've seen a couple of situations these last couple of days where people have nearly trodden on each other because they just didn't know the other player was there. They weren't quite being aware of each other, and just the straight camouflage, especially in these dark, stormy maps, is very, very strong for these players.
Yep, and it's also to make something really clear, and because it's something that the community asked for, is the fact that each class is customizable down to the individual.
Well, at least the rounds are lasting pretty long. I mean, as far as that goes, I think they're what, 10 minutes or something.
A lot of customization involved and options to come forward here. We also have to help in dark stormy maps like this, or in a moment after the shots start rattling through. Suppression does hit the Robo Mohawk up on top of those logs. He doesn't
I'm not into the stoner, man.
To the target he was firing on, so the developers managed to
Mark
step
48
up and move away.
is my weapon.
Now Robo's been pinned down and sniped by Weaver. Right next to Nerf Blackbeard, who has to turn and run. He does get up onto the locks for a different angle. I'm not sure he's actually as covered there as he thinks he is, so he's going to try and sneak in for a revive, and he might regret it. Weaver still has a good angle on that position, and yes, indeed, Nerf Blackbeard changes his mind and moves away. But Nerf Blackbeard gets Nomad with that mine he placed on the other side of the logs as he was trying to flank around.
Good one.
Midas right there, though. Even though the severe wounds is there, Midas teases the idea of a revive, but actually changes his mind. Grenade comes over from Weaver, and Weaver will get the grenade kill onto Nerf Blackbeard, so he was trying to revive it, and he then fell. 2 community members down on this same position. Weaver going to come over and may be able to pick up Nomad, but once again, Eroctic is down inside the compound.
I didn't notice that they had the medical drone was working.
Flanking
doesn't look like it, so you can use a mortar. Because the mortar is the only thing you can use, spotting mortar.
He was on his drone artillery most of the time. He's now being suppressed on his way there. He's right out in the open, doesn't have a lot of cover, and it's 2 versus 4 as the revive is completed on Nomad. Eroctic is firing from up top, 2 versus 3 now. Krebser managing to pick up that kill. Sorry, Roxy picked up that kill with his flank. Nomad's pushing aggressively on his tank, pushing straight up there, getting right up into his face, and Nomad will get the kill onto Eroctic, leaving Krebser TV, the lone artillery player, down in the compound next to the recon tower. He got the kill onto Holt.
The developer team just came back, man. They're like,
and is now
I think they were just playing these guys. They were sandbagging the first round is what they did. They were just feeling them out. See how they played. Now they're coming back and they got to kill them.
Now he's going to go and try and restock, heal himself up, get a bit more ammunition, get a bit ready to fight. The developers holding firm where they can up on the hillside, looking for an opportunity. And there it is. That's the opportunity. Getting on the recon tower. They're going to start using it. The drone is going up. The artillery strike is going down straight on top of it. I'm not sure if it's going to land fast enough. The mark goes down. Recon tower will be completed. Now we watch him try and run for the hills. The explosions are going off, but he does.
Oh, he made it. Hell yeah.
For the tank. So he gets out of it away. Nomad's safe for another day, and the mark will last for 20 seconds here on Krebser TV. Krebser is putting more and more distance between himself and the developers now because of this, and while he's doing that, it's allowing him to revive Hulk despite his severe wounds. So he is being picked up.
Ooh, 4 versus 1. Oh my God.
The mark will
tick out. This is going to be bad.
Further and deeper up and around. Midas, however, does see him landing the shots, and it's enough. Developer team taking round number 3, 2 rounds to 0. I can see a
3-zip going on here.
A much more impressive display of what it is they can do. As you said, it's straight teamwork. We saw 4 versus 2 for the entire first half of that round as the developers stuck close together and fought onto those 2-man fire team that the community members sent up into the hillside.
Yep.
And then when the 2 were left in town, all the developers were left up again to go and hunt them through. So with the time there, we are easily able to collapse down onto it, and with the help of the recon tower, find that last player. Very impressive indeed. So
we do have some time for
a 4th map. We do. We're showing 1 more game. So we're going to head on to our 4th and final map here of Desert Outpost. Now it's currently standing 2 rounds to 1 in favor of our community team.
I think they said we get to play on 6 maps.
So while there was a little bit of redemption there for the
devs,
they now have a chance to even out the scoreline and level it all through. Don't forget, of course, guys, there is a raffle running. So if you want to type !raffle in chat, you can get yourselves a 511 backpack and a Wildlands patch.
12 maps.
And they will be announced in our community hangouts after we are finished here in Paris by UB Amper over in North Carolina. Meanwhile, though, we, as you can see, have our 4th and final map on the screen. So let's start that game and look at how Desert Outpost plays. This is a map that was in the closed beta and was played a lot by our community team. So I'm interested to see what it is they have up their sleeve, because it's another sniper-friendly map if you can get up onto that high ground. There are, however, a few key spots which are also very easily defended and very easily held until the artillery comes into play. So good artillery usage may just well be key. You'll also
this is where that salt teardrop thingy is, that big rock outcropping is.
looking at how this plays, and looking at what you guys have seen
from
the code base
here, I think that's where it's
from
at.
the statistics and internal testing, how do you feel this map plays out? Is it more like a Quarry? Is it a fast, aggressive map? Is it more like a Deforestation, a slower, more intel-based game?
Well, I think it's a mix between the two, because it's a more open map, but at the same time, it's a map that favors more sniper use. So I think we're going to see some more sniper use from.
Depends on what type of cover they give you, as far as buildings, rock outcroppings, crap like that. I think there's a water tower or something right there.
All right, well, we'll see what they do. We can start this game now and get into our fourth final map. Starting then on the top side of the map, it's a long sprint down into the play area for the team that starts up there. Down on the bottom edge, it's a long trek, but you start in a much more covered position. You can actually get up onto the high ground far easier, but you are then very exposed once you get there. It's a safe route to there, but you're exposed once you reach it. However, on the top side of the map, it's a bit more exposed getting into the compound and getting onto those first few rocks. But then you have strong footholds once you reach it. So we'll see whether or not that gets exploited. There's also a great big Pride rock.
You get the quick getaway. That's why he wasn't getting blown up by the mortars. So that's a good perk.
Very powerfully. Because
I'll probably be a tank probably, or assault.
You fall down and die on there.
That line, since I like using LMG a lot.
Very low. So
the tower at the north.
Should be a big rocky outcropping maybe. There's a tower right there, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, see, there's that big rock outcropping right there.
Outpost tower at the top of the hillside, which you'd normally think becomes a death trap to sit up there and snipe out of and make noise in, but it provides great cover, and if that's the role you want to play for your team, drawing that attention, using that to bait people's focus, you can really...
I don't see anybody in that tower at all. That would have been a good spot, but I guess like he was mentioning, you might get trapped up there and get killed too easy.
We have from our
calling a mortar strike on you, but
onto that hillside, right up to the edge of the map, towards that outpost tower, right from the start. Our community drone with the artillery in hand is looking for them and does spot the first player, but it's looking down into the compound for the rest of them. Doesn't seem to realize that he's actually already flying directly over their heads already. So he does use that artillery track on hold just to force him to move a bit further. Weaver is up at the outpost, but Nerf Blackbeard is right close by it with another sniper. Nomad is right on top of him. The shots are starting to rattle on through. Nomad and Blackbeard don't realize how close they are to each other. They are standing
Look at that, man. They're like right there. Oh my God. That's crazy.
Literally 12 meters from it at that point as it came up, and they are swarming around this area.
Oh, here he is. Now he sees him.
Against an LMG and lose. First blood does go over to Nomad and his rifle.
Oh, but he got taken out too.
But he'll quickly die down afterwards to Krebs's SMG, because there are so many players up here and around the tower. Now the can't suppress comes up on screen because it's a point man, and Holt has to turn and run as he's shot in the back and falls. 3 versus 2 in favor of our community squad. Sorry, in favor of our developer squad, actually. Eruptic.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a second.
Now he's the last man standing as Krebs falls as well. 1 versus 3. Eruptic is a long way from his team. He was the only man not there on that outpost tower.
Dude, you're going to...
And the developers are beginning to hunt. Midas quickly goes down
200 meters from your
guys.
guys.
Teammate back up, bringing them up to a 4 versus 1. And, well, how are you going to play this then, Eruptic? You've got all the time in the world, but not a lot of cover from your current position.
Tactical retreat.
Yeah, your teammates are all known. Midas is going to send his drone up and go looking for him, and he does get the spot off. The shot's coming down now, and he's being tagged from afar. Gets in and hides behind the building, but there's a player close, and he knows it. Pre-aims around the corners, looking for him. Sees the noise marker, but he's not there anymore. Grenades are coming in. He has to turn back away again. The drone is still tracking his position for his team. And as the push comes close from Holt, Eruptic wins that firefight. Does put himself in a 3v1. His health is slowly regenerating thanks to the adrenaline rush.
Should have thrown another frag around that corner, because
it's been used once by one player. No one else
who's coming over to retrieve, get a Hoyt up.
Quick revive onto Holt comes out from Nomad as they begin to continue their hunt. Chasing Eruptic down, and more shots come in. He can't be suppressed, but he can be taken out as his health is very, very low. Inside the building he goes. He hasn't had a chance to reload his main gun from the sound of things, but he's being flanked from behind, and there it is. Round 1 once again to the developer squad.
Ow.
You talked about that outpost tower on the top of the hill. You pointed out how big of a thing it is, and we just saw it. That was the entire round.
Kicking the crap out of these dudes.
Up on that hillside.
Totally.
It's a fight to control that position.
Yeah.
It's a really important position because it controls large part of it.
And again, I appreciate everybody's taking the time to watch this.
Without realizing it, literally standing on each other, standing very, very close to one another.
I know everybody's looking forward to the player versus player.
As soon as those first few shots came out,
so once more, if you're on the Uplay on the PC, it's already preloaded. It loaded this morning for me. So I've been clicking on this sucker all day, hoping that stupid thing would just like let me play it, but it won't. And when you go look for it, you can't find it. That's so frustrating. I was like, well, maybe I can go find it.
Switching back the other way now.
So anyways, on the Xbox and PlayStation, it should be today also. So who knows? They might get nice and kick it out a day early, but don't hold your breath on that. You might turn blue.
Meanwhile, the opposing team, sniper, artillery, tank, and point man. So a lot
Let's get back to the round here
for that red team this time over.
Developers taking the first match. I think they're playing the best 2 out of 3 with 3 matches in each round, it looks like.
This is one of the few maps where the recon tower is actually not as
2-zip in the first round. Developers, now it's 1-0
So I've seen tanks just manage to sneak in there while 4 players are left alive on the other team and get a good recon tower usage off. But it's still a big risk. And in this situation,
this would be fun to play.
Community team split 2 players.
This is like, I like this a little bit more. I really didn't like that lumberyard one. I think that's a little bit too small. I think this one's a little bit more open.
Eroctic and Robo Mohawk coming around behind it, looking to flank. And the first kill is Eroctic onto Holt. He gets up onto those rocks, shoots Holt in the back, but is quickly taken out again by Weaver, who as soon as he finds a bead on your position, lands and lines up his sniper rifle. Meanwhile, the scout drone was used to try and check what else was there, and it does find
he's deadly, man. As soon as he gets a position, you're dead.
And
gives good revive.
Information that he's safe to go on the revive. Back up to a 4v3 then, as Eroctic hasn't been revived by the community team. Devs picking up their speed, now getting in stride, as Robo Mohawk starting to pick up Eroctic.
He's getting revived over there.
Artillery player from
should be 4 versus 4 again. There we go.
Down within the town now, but the devs have control.
Yeah, I think this map is a little bit more balanced. I can see why they said it in the closed beta. Everybody wanted to play this one. This seems like a fun map to play on.
In a known position and are playing.
But nobody's taking advantage of that tower. I haven't seen one single person try to go up on that tower. So I guess that's like a death trap instead of an advantage for people to use.
Coming out again from either squad as they're coming off cooldown, looking for other opportunities, looking for other spots to find their opponents. Shots coming out from the outpost tower does mean that
no, somebody is. I take it back. Somebody is in the outpost tower.
As we can see right now.
They did make their way up there.
I think it did. I'm not sure. No. It hasn't come down yet, but maybe not.
No, I think, I don't know. I didn't notice anybody up there. I thought when he droned it didn't pick anybody up, but
around the base of the tower.
They're saying that he's up in the outpost tower.
Midas seems to be aware of where
he's below the tower.
There it is. The recon tower is being activated by Robo Mohawk.
Ah, cool.
Shots are going through, and he will continue to hold it on. The developer team has eyes on it from up there in the tower.
Oh, shoot him, dude. Why are you waiting?
Four developers
Bro, you
up
could
here
shot
at the outpost.
Oh,
the sniper shots are coming in from off the hillside. Suppressed now comes up here on Weaver's screen as he just dodges that sniper round, but more shots coming up from below as the push comes in from Robo Mohawk and Krebsa. They're pushing aggressively forward while the marks are still active, looking to get up as best they can, but the tank has activated his special ability and is now the only mark left alive. He, however, is being tracked by Krebsa. The shots, however, will not land, and he cannot be finished off. Eroctic comes around behind. Krebsa now dancing away from the grenades. Weaver is dead, and Krebsa will quickly follow him. Holt, however, sniped out from the top of the hill. Nerf Blackbeard getting that kill, so it's 2v3
got him with that Mark 48,
in favor of the community team. Robo Mohawk continues his push on up. Nomad is right on top of Weaver's body and does successfully get the revive down. Midas is still at a distance. Nice. Will get his drone up to try and give this information over to his teams that are freshly revived. Nomad and Weaver know where Robo Mohawk is right now and are spraying him in this crossfire between themselves and Midas.
Oh, yeah, look at
Midas does land a little bit of damage, but is about to get flashbanged. Loses control for a moment. Enforcer and artillery are down for either side. More flashbangs going out, so Recon Tower comes back up off cooldown, but there's no one near it this time to activate it. Robo Mohawk chasing Midas down towards his teammate Eroctic. Is right up close, very low health, but Midas will fall to the Desert Eagle of Eroctic.
I guess they're doing that because they want to make sure everybody's got a good stream.
He is now way away from the rest of his team, and
so they're not letting us do. It was 1080 earlier this morning.
Nighttime approaching as well.
Yeah, nighttime is approaching. Holt is down with severe wounds and on top of a mine. Weaver,
I apologize, but that's the best we're going to get.
As Nerf Blackbeard steps up and takes him down once again. Now it's just the tank left alive for our developer team. Nomad very close in the Blackbeard, but surrounded by Robo Mohawk. The shots are coming through from Robo. He's not quite sure of where it is. Steps on up. Nomad is right next to him. He's going to go for the melee kill.
Oh my God! Melee killed him. Hell yeah!
And makes it away alive.
That was sick.
But they're now starting to swarm in all sides. The
How
artillery
could he not know they were standing right next to each other? That's like whack. He just ran right up there and stood there and goes, oh, I wonder where he's at. He's like, oh, cool, dude.
To get shot from both angles, but Eruptic will secure the kill and round out the round one apiece. But got to give him points for style of that melee
That was a crazy kill.
Yeah.
So, third and final round to decide it all. Remember, our community were up 2 maps to 1 before this game began. The developer squad won the last map.
Wow.
Looking to even it out.
Oh, man, I got breakfast here to eat, so I'm going to start eating.
Just a little bit.
I'm going to mute my mic because I don't want you guys hearing me chomping on my food while I eat.
So, as they switched back the other way, we saw a first round where the outpost was heavily contested. Second round where the developers were just given the outpost, really, by the community team. But the community team used this to their advantage. They were, you're going to swarm that tower. You're going to take control of that area. We'll take control of the map, the compound in the middle, the buildings down there by the recon tower. And they got a recon tower use while all 4 players of the enemy team were alive.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job at pushing to that position. They initially tried to use a artillery drone to flush them out, but that failed, and then they used the recon tower. So that was really successful tactic.
But we also saw in return was a very powerful use of the tank. Yes, the recon tower was used, and 20-second mark on everyone in the team sounds horrible. Tank activated his special ability, took all those marks away, and just left them on himself. So he could then run around like a lunatic, draw the fire, soak it up, and not die too fast. So smart play from the developers there as well.
Yep.
Now, though, they're back the other way around, and we see another different style from the devs. Instead of going up the high ground towards the outpost, they're going down towards the low ground.
Round 3, evenly tied, 1-1. So who's going to take this one?
All of the community players are right up there on the outpost already, very, very quickly up on that high ground. So we'll see if the sniper play comes into it, because we have 4 recruits from our community squad. Now, as we said last time they did this, it was very sniper heavy, using DMRs, using long scoped weapons. But see if that is the same case this time around as their weapons become known. Robo Mohawk is still running himself an LMG on his recruit. Nerf Blackbeard definitely still running the sniper rifle though, as he is that sniper and has been all game long. But Eruptic is up in the top of the outpost with a drone in hand. Krebser using his drone as well at the moment to get a bit of information on where they may be. They are very confused right now as to where the developers are.
They are. We're expecting them to just push for the high ground, but it looks like they're flanking really wide this time.
Yeah, they were scanning. You can see it. They're still scanning the area, looking for that.
Everybody's taking their time.
It's not there.
Nobody wants to lose this last round.
To the main town towards the recon tower, but still no eyes on them and can't figure out where they're coming from.
I can't believe that the recon tower, nobody's up there messing with them, man. That's crazy.
The bottom edge of the map, creeping their way through, marking the community players on the hillside. They do now know they have control of the outpost, but that is, I'm pretty sure, what the devs were expecting.
Oh, wow.
So Weaver has
eyes on.
Take
just
a shot,
missed him.
Misses
that was
out
so close.
It's a bit optimistic, to be fair, at that angle, but he gave it a good shot. So now that the developers have been spotted out, the suppression is coming in from the shots on the high ground. You see the DMRs, but Weaver quickly turns it around.
Weaver got
the first
smacked,
kill onto
man,
Eruptic on
bad.
top of that tower. Eruptic
Nice
now in
shot.
a poor spot for reviving, but Robo's going to go up and try and give him a go. If he can get up the stairs, he'll be okay. But here it is. Weaver is looking at the stairwell. Can he land the shot on a moving target up towards this outpost? No. So they know that there's 2 in the tower now, but they can't get the kill. Does try for it over the sandbags, but
we'll see what happens now. See if he calls in a mortar strike on the tower.
And Nerf Blackbeard are pushing down towards the town
oh
itself,
man, yeah.
Away, looking for
As I say, don't stand up, guys.
Inside the compound, but won't find anyone yet. The revives do complete. Robo and Eruptic now both alive in the outpost.
Yeah, now's the time to call in a mortar,
are raining in
or artillery, whatever you want to call that, on that tower.
Coming down the
and
staircase,
get both those guys.
Does pre-fire it, but not quite leading.
They didn't do that.
And now it's time for Robo and Eruptic to rejoin. Actually, Eruptic's staying up in the tower. Robo, however, going to rejoin his other 2 teammates a little bit closer to the action. Nomad and Holt have made it across the road and are looking to get in the faces of these community players. That point man tank.
Yeah, they are. They're coming right up on them. Look at that.
Very strong fighting force as a pairing. Once they have the
what they got planned over here.
Now Midas' drone going up again. They should look to start opening up the fighting.
He's going to get sniped. Oh, that was a good snipe shot.
Blackbeard is on top of that rock that I was talking about earlier on. Great position for looking down over the town, but very, very exposed if you get killed there. There's chances of being revived when you're in that spot are very, very low. You can be watched from all angles, and if Weaver gets beat on your position from up there, you may not last much longer. So, Krebs are flanking deep within their spawn and out towards the road, has the drone there to support it.
Everybody took a deep breath, and we're back to square one.
Slowed down a bit now. Shots rattling in, and there it is. Nomad takes a rock tick out of the tower again. He comes down to try and join his team, but he's deep within the rocks. Holt sprinting up to push him. Nomad close by as well. Robo Mohawk is shooting his position away, so they're going to try and make the most of that. Nerf Blackbeard steps up from where he is and starts firing into Nomad. The tank is down. Robo Mohawk credited with the kill. Switching it around now, we see a rock tick still pinned in a bad spot and will not be revived anytime soon.
I'm not noticing anybody using NVGs
around one side. If he can just find an angle to try and flank some of these developers, he might be able to make a big impact on the round.
And I don't know if it's a video 720 quality, but I'm having a little bit of trouble spotting these guys. There you go. Now we're on NVG.
Videos. He was just waiting.
Oh hell yeah! Oh, that was
Robo Mohawk using the
sweet.
To make
what a
sure
good kill.
But that area is very explosive, so he gets very quickly out of.
He didn't even know what the hell hit him.
Itself. Blackbeard still on the top of the rocks. Both of those bodies now in a no-go zone for the community players as Holt begins pushing up. Nerf Blackbeard starts shooting to the noise in the markers. Weaver. Holt where he is.
Either way, Weaver or Midas is going to try to get him.
However's not there. He's going for another melee kill.
Oh my God!
Goes for the shoot instead.
He's going to melee kill that dude, man.
In favor of the developers. Krebser is coming back now, realizing his position, while it could have been strong, isn't going to work out for him. He needs to get back to his team.
I wonder why he's having trouble seeing the developers. Because it's twice he's done that. He sort of went right by him and not even noticed him, man. That's like crazy.
And exposed, and the revive may be able to go through. 4 versus 1 as the developers.
Try to have my night vision on, because for me it's a little bit easier with NVGs.
Just far enough down from the rock to be in a safer spot, and it is back into 4v2. But just because he is no longer the last man alive doesn't mean Krebser loses his adrenaline rush. Getting shot in the face, however, will lose his adrenaline rush. So now it's on Nerf Blackbeard as the last man standing, but without the adrenaline rush, because he's the first last man standing, to try and pick it up for his team. He's going to go for the revive on Krebser, but the recon tower gets used. It doesn't matter as the victory comes through for the developers. 2 rounds to 1 on the last map. 2 rounds apiece for the final scoreline.
That's it, man. 2 rounds each.
I'm sure they're grateful we had time to squeeze.
So I guess they're maybe doing 5.
Even the scoreline out.
Good work.
This will be a very tense here coming up.
So that is Ghost War, ladies and gentlemen. That is your live gameplay reveal, your live gameplay tease. Don't forget, if you want to play that, September 21st to 25th, the open beta is open to everyone.
Let's see what
we
can have
it right now on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and on Uplay. So, Lucian, that looked impressive. That looked great. We saw a lot of classes in action. We saw a lot of gameplay elements in action. Let's go through and talk about everything in there in depth, of what we've seen, what we may not have seen so well, starting with marking. How does the marking work? How do you mark a player? How do you get unmarked when you are marked?
So they showed us 4 maps. That was it.
Of marking an opponent.
So that's a pretty good tease.
To the Ghost War experiences, the information.
But man, there was a lot of hype coming up to this morning. We had to watch. You know, I mean, it wasn't bad watching 7 and real-time commanders, and
look at an opponent.
You know, all that stuff was fun to watch
you have to actively
in one sense, but it would have been better if they had less of that and more actual PvP time.
And how long does the mark last?
Well, it must,
so that sort of sucks.
Marking lasts forever.
Because what they started at 12 and it's what?
So as long as you mark an enemy and
hour and a half.
Your eyes on him,
you know, it wasn't very much, man. Holy cow! Well, I think we started streaming at 9 o'clock this morning.
So once you get marked, you have to break that line of sight.
So 3 hours of build up and an hour and a half of gameplay.
Wow. How does suppression work? The Enforcer we saw has a very strong ability that allows him to suppress people very quickly from a distance, keep them all pinned down. But when it comes to all the other classes, all the operators, how does suppression work for them?
Well, suppression works pretty much the same for everybody, except that for, like you said, the Enforcer does the job more effectively and basically nullifies your ability to aim down sights. Well, for all the other classes is as simple as putting more bullets around the target to be effective.
When you are suppressed, what does it feel like? What is it like as the player with those shots raining over your head, as that suppressed player? When you're in that situation, how do you react? What do you do to counter against it?
Well, if you're suppressed, your best bet is to stay hidden and not try to return fire, because you're not going to be as effective.
All right, so your vision gets a little bit blurred, the scope gets a bit wavy, and you're not going to be able to return fire so well. Moving on to that, ammo and health. If you do get shot, if you're having lots of firefights, we talked about the ammo and health bets around the map. Where do they come into play? That is how you heal back up, obviously, if you've not got the regeneration. But is ammo a big factor? We didn't really see too many people restocking in these games. Is that something you saw from the closed beta? Do people have to reload a lot?
No, actually, it's health and ammo. It's a bit of a comfort objective in itself because the game is quite deadly, as you saw. But there might be some instances where you are okay or safe enough to go and restock.
So we don't need to talk too much about reviving. We saw that a lot. It is becoming a mini objective within the game, and we saw traps being set around dead bodies. We saw mines being set on dead bodies. We saw players just sitting there and watching them. And we saw how the game evolved completely as people started to die. We also looked at snipers and having those severe wounds, which is also inflicted, I believe, by melee kills, right? Severe wounds, which increases the revive time that it takes to get your teammates back up. So thinking about when you revive and who to revive is a very important part of the game as well. Then we have the last man standing, but the adrenaline rush, which again we talked about.
Working today and trying to watch this at the same time, so it looks like it's going to be fun. Though I think definitely I want to play a tank.
When you start sprinting anymore, so you can run
tank class would be fun. Sniper, yeah, maybe. I know the snipers got in a few kills there, but
your team back
since like I said,
we are now being informed that
I think again, like they noticed, the biggest thing is teamwork and sticking together. When you guys split up, man, they can just take you out one by one. But if you stay 2-2, somebody can watch the other person's back, and then in that sense. Even if one guy starts to go down, the other guy can return fire on that person and get you back up, and then there's a good chance you've taken the other enemy down on the other team. So
and it marks everyone on the enemy team for 20 seconds, but you don't have to go near it. No, it can be just a comfort thing.
It's just our way to end the game. So it's really important because if you're the last man standing, you're instinctively you go hide, and it's really frustrating for the winning team to look for that guy until the end of the round. So it's when you have the upper hand, you just you will go and use the recon tower and fight that guy.
All right, so let's start this final game then and see who comes out on top. The developers are on the verge of an epic comeback right now as they started down
final
2
one,
rounds,
folks.
Brought it back to 2-2 now and are forcing this final deciding map out of us. But the community team have learned from their mistake, or might have learned from their mistakes. They did have a strong start. We'll see whether or not they can turn it back and end this 2-map losing streak to their advantage. Get back in on here. Now, of course, Deforestation was our first map of the day. It'll look familiar to some of you if you were here from the start, but it is something that the community team also won. So, with their initial start positions, we do have our developer squad starting, I believe that is down, up on the high ground, in fact. So they have that.
Back at the lumber mill again.
If they so wish.
Cool.
Or getting down in towards the compound quickly into those initial buildings. Meanwhile, our community team down on the lower ground have a lot more foliage, a bit more undulating ground, and as we've seen them use, down towards the main road and that southern edge to flank. So. The class selection is Scout, Point Man, Sniper, and Tank for our community team, and for our developer team, Sniper, Scout, Tank, and Point Man as well. So they're identical lineups.
They're pretty effective at taking out that drone. It didn't take them long to capture his drone.
And Blackbeard once again sticking as a tight-knit pairing here on Deforestation.
Oh, they're going to go head-to-head here in a second. They're both
getting
coming
Blackbeard
both
into a good position, picking up 2 quick kills
right
with
up on
each
rifle,
other, and then Eroctic there to punish the developers
who
pushed him to try and kill him. So that picked them up a quick early win. But
close.
The developers have learned since then. They're playing a much more close-knit game. They're playing a much more tighter squad group, and as a result, chances of those trade kills happening in their favor are much higher. Weaver dropping down a mine with the help of his artillery, of his teammate to cover him rather, then falls back. They were ready and aware of a potential push coming down that side and then backing away. Meanwhile, their teammates, Midas and their tank support.
Yeah, what's their strategy here? They're falling back over there.
Ready for them to come back.
They're going to re-drone.
Droning up the big hillside to make sure it's clear and waiting for them. And now we play an information game. Both teams have got into the early positions they wanted. Now they need to find out where their opponents are. Noise markers coming up, that yellow blip from Nomad as the tank starts to fire down onto the drone. Didn't necessarily need to do that. It hadn't been marked, it hadn't seen him, and he does just give his position away by shooting it down. So a potential mistake there from the developers. Meanwhile, Eroctic, Blackbeard, and Robo Mohawk are very close by to where that tank.
I mean, it almost makes more sense. Whoever gets spotted by the drone should be the one to try to shoot it down, and that way the other players on your team don't get exposed.
To the recon tower. Now,
since, you know, obviously you give off that yellow marker when you're shooting here, which is the part I don't like. If they did away with that, I think it'd be a little bit more realistic in that sense.
It does, yes.
So
you're already droning the people already, but yeah, that yellow thing's pretty crazy. Next thing you know, they're going to have the C2 building crap like they have in Destiny 2 and Call of Duty. And oh, there he goes. He's on the terminal.
In fact, what he's doing indeed. Quick hands are being used, and that recon tower goes up very rapidly, and now all the developers are revealed. So with everyone on that left flank now, the community team are pushing for it, but an instant, I believe, activation from the tank pulled those marks away. Eroctic did get eyes on Nomad because of that tank mark and is putting some shots down onto him, but they won't land. Nomad has now lost the mark because he lost his sight line and has managed to vanish. So a nice idea from the community team using that quick hand strategy, but this time around it was just shrugged off by the developers. They need to make sure the tank has used its ability before they activate it again. And well, now that they've done it once, I don't imagine the developers are going to give them a chance to activate and use that tower anytime soon. They're going to keep their eyes on it.
The strategy wasn't that effective, but at least they have a snapshot of their positions.
Yeah, they got a brief idea of roughly where they are, and they can.
Yeah, but they can move pretty easy too now. See, that's logically once your position exposed, you're not going to stay there.
Running around the central compound, just popping the explosive barrels as he goes. While he knows he's safe, he knows where the
you can see the developers are already started to move already.
He can gather control of that area, take the barrels out, make sure none of them catch him by surprise.
They're putting a lot of mines all over the place.
His place to be while he's there. Now the recon tower has come back up, but I do believe the tank ability for the developers is also back in play. So they can't rush to take control of it again if they want it to really last.
Yeah.
As they do, send Krebs back towards the recon tower. This game has really become a slower paced grind fest as
a lot slower than the first ones. First matches were a lot faster.
The recon tower goes through, does activate up. We immediately see them all marked. But again, tank active straight away used, and while he does get suppressed straight afterwards, Nomad takes the marks away and then goes into hiding, and the marks completely vanish. So the devs have definitely caught on to the plan, don't nearly seem to want to stop him using the recon tower. They are just happy to divert the intel away every time it happens. They are also staying very close up. There we go, Eroctic firing in towards the tree line. Robo Mohawk taking a bit of damage. The drone coming out from the developer scout, looking towards their position, and does get a mark down onto the enemy tank. He falls back a little way. Holt has been marked by the scout here from the community team, but he is not in the sight line of any of the community players to shoot it. Meanwhile, more and more information is being made, making its way into the eyes of each team, but still,
they're really taking their time
doing use of the information they're getting. Eroctic and Robo falling back slightly. Nerf Blackbeard now the most aggressive position for all of the community team as the recon tower comes back up again. But even in his slightly aggressive position here, he has no clear sight line to the dev team. Eroctic finds that mine that was placed early in the round and does shoot it out of action as the recon tower goes through again from Krebser. This is smart.
They're going to get shot. He's going to want
you to play so passive as the devs are, and to be fair, as the community team after now, make use of that recon tower, force some movement, force them to show themselves, or you're just going to keep
they're putting pressure
that out. Yeah. So as the devs edge closer and closer to the edge of the map, slowly around that hillside, the clock ticks away. Remember, if everyone is left, or if anyone on either team is left alive,
happen here with Hoy?
It is a straight draw and a replay, and we are now down to the final 2 minutes. I do feel like this round may end up in a draw.
This may have been a draw.
Possibly.
Neither team wants to make that first move, make that first peek out. As the scout drones fly up again, looking for more opportunities. Nomad ducks away from those shots again as he loses the mark after drawing the attention. Midas is drone down on the south side. We do get calls that community
you can actually use that to your advantage
right there in the compound
by
will
drawing
fall. There
somebody
it is.
in, by having your guys fire and then move
out.
off. You can actually suck somebody into your position to kill them.
Is also, however, very
if
low
you do that effectively enough, that'd be pretty good.
As they start to find cracks in their armor. Minute 15 to go. Something we saw the developer team do early on in the practice games was as soon as a teammate fell, rush for the revive. That then quickly ended up in a snowball effect of them losing player after player. They are no longer doing that. So yes, they just lost a man in Holt, but the rest of them are holding their positions firm. But Nomad now will fall as they're closing in. Weaver quickly falls afterwards. It leaves Midas now the last man. Tank has fallen for the community team, but they are now looking for one more. The scout will go with his increased revive speed to get
he's got a fast heal too. Look how fast the scout
45 seconds to go.
That's quick.
They are both spotted and marked by this scout drone. Their marks will pursue as they continue to get pushed on now from the community squad. More shots rattling in. The suppression comes on through onto the tank. He's not got all the help. The Desert Eagle comes out. They're just spraying towards the marks, but he is in cover. Midas now marked by Nerf Blackbeard as well. 25 seconds to go. They are just trying to survive as best they can, but they're being hunted from all angles. The last man standing buff wears out as he does.
No.
They're swarming in from all angles.
Down to the wire on him. Get him.
As best he can and force out the draw. 10 seconds to go. He has got divert intel, but they don't want the attention on him this time. They're all trying to find him, hunting every bush they can. They don't have a scout drone called down to detect his movement. They are right on top of him, but they don't know about it. And the draw will be fought.
He hit out so well. That was incredible.
By that last lone man hiding in a bush.
Yep.
Midas was completely swarmed by players, but had great cover, had great camouflage.
Oh, man. Yeah, they were like going psycho. Where they should have just started throwing frags everywhere. There's a good chance you guys would have hit them.
So yeah, you saw that timer ticking down to the 8 minutes. We saw the
logically that would have been the thing to do. Just back off a little bit, start chucking frags in every direction around. You guys just face outward, start chucking frags, man.
And even as you said,
you might have got lucky and capped him with a frag.
That mark off of them, that gave them
it would have been luck, but that would have won the round.
Use a scout drone to track the movement and follow them through the trees. So they got there right on the button.
That's like crazy.
Getting the last kill. So as we head into a fresh replay of round 1, we are now looking for a chance to again stretch that lead out and finally make a mark.
Oh my God! Now we got to do this again. That's crazy.
We could very well be here a while if they keep this up. So let's see how they started out. This time around, of course, though, they do swap start positions. So Blackbeard, Eruptic, Robo Mohawk, and Krebser starting on the slightly higher ground towards the compound. Do begin by once again actually heading down towards the road, but this time from the lower ground position. Nomad starts spraying straight on towards the scout drone again early on, not necessarily too worried about giving his position away from this early opportunity because there's still a lot of ground to cover and a lot of route to take before he's in the position he really wants to be at. Does shoot the drone down. Now the rest of his team begin to move, step up, and they do dart back the way they came now that that potential route has been compromised. Meanwhile, though, they are getting very, very close to Robo Mohawk, I believe. Or Eruptic's going deep up to the top side of the map. He's going well up into the corner on the highest point of the northern edge of this hillside. So he's going to be heavily alone when up there. But
yeah, he's putting himself way out there. You better hope he doesn't get killed. They're not going to be able to come and get him. Look at him. He's way up there.
Krebs once again taking out explosive barrels so they can't surprise him.
He just got exposed just now, so they know where he's at.
Playing a more static position at some of the logs around the compound in the middle of the map. Looking for opportunities, looking for movement from the
try to get up on the building.
Midas's drone is up towards the hillside now, and it may very well be spotting the position of Eruptic, but his teammates down in the compound open fire on the drone, draw its attention and give their position away so it doesn't spot that point man up in the hills.
Oh, nice. Good kill on the drone.
Safe. Will continue
that was
his
great.
route down the side of the map. This time, though, much more slower, much more cautiously, looking for his opportunity to make it count. Nomad gets marked just down the hill. Now he gets a bit of information about where they may be. Holt also marked down the hillside, and he begins to move a bit more freely. Midas and Weaver close by, but Weaver has been marked as well. And Eruptic is feeling good about this push. Nerf Blackbeard, Robo Mohawk moving it out of the compound and towards the positions they now know the devs to be in. As Weaver starts to try and shoot down the drone now that he's already been marked, but changes his mind back to looking for players.
Oh yeah, here they go. Here they're coming. They're starting to move in
Holt
now.
is now right on the other side of this log pile to Robo Mohawk.
Really, I mean, they're on either side of the log pile from each other. This is
exactly
nuts.
There yet. Nomad is flanking around behind Robo Mohawk though, so maybe have to step up here and get the first kill.
He's going to try to melee him again. Watch.
Behind cover at the last second. Weaver now very, very close to Eruptic's point man as well. Robo Mohawk does realise, or doesn't realise that this man is so close. All he's going to do is take a step out from just a moment. There it is, the enforcer of the tank, and it will be a quick kill for the developers to open us up here. Robo
that was
Mohawk
crazy,
down and
man.
away from the rest of his team. Holt getting credit with that kill. Nerf Blackbeard, though, up on a side angle, now has information on that position and might be able to make it work. Eroctic very close to Weaver, but neither
Blackbeard's
of them have
your sniper, I take it. Yeah.
Yet.
Come on, dude. Get him.
Eroctic actually moving
Erotic's moving around.
He knows there's somewhere nearby.
He just got spotted, though. Shit. Uh-oh, but he's coming around on the back.
Exactly
Get him. Get him.
Now expose his own backside to it. More marks coming in from
They're looking for him. Oh shit, they got him again.
Coming in from Eroctic, he is being flanked now because of it. He's now pushing aggressively.
Oh, got his ass.
3v3. Gets up on towards the
that was a good
position,
kill.
Waiting for the flank to come behind him, sees him in the trees, loses him in the bushes.
Oh shit!
Who was for
we were sniped on his ass. Oh shit!
Now seeing his teammates fall in amongst that tree, doesn't have a great idea. But Krebser, after getting off his drone, uses the recon tower and those quick hands to get it triggered. Nomad, though, quickly uses his ability and pulls the marks onto himself while they go for the revive, bringing it 4v2. Mine placed by Weaver, using that as an opportunity to bait them into the bodies. As now, the scout sniper combo, not the biggest on firepower.
Nah, but they're doing pretty damn good, though.
The tree line,
I'm pretty
into
impressed.
4 developers to try and get their team back on their feet. Nerf Blackbeard is up on the hillside, does see one and does start to shoot towards him as he runs straight into his teammate, but Nomad melee punches Krebser down.
Trying to
put that sniper as the last man standing. And Nomad is making his way straight over to the recon tower.
Oh crap, come on dude, get it. Get him.
Krebser literally headbutted by Nomad as he sprinted across that side of the map. All 3 teammates that Blackbeard has left are down with severe wounds, so even with his increased revive speed from the adrenaline rush, it's not going to be an easy task to get them back on their feet. The recon tower will reactivate in a couple of seconds.
That's going to be hard getting them back on their feet, dude.
And there are 2 players
at least got the adrenaline rush, so
the tank will begin accessing it.
Better than nothing.
Channel, but Blackbeard is miles away and has no chance of activating it. Puts a mine down and will now be swarmed by devs as they make their way towards that marker. He can't lose it, of course. There's no tank to take it away from him. His plan right now is literally to stay alive for the rest of the round and force out another draw. But we are still over 2 minutes away, so that's a long time to wait. And
hell yeah, dude. Seriously,
the shots are landing. He's starting to take a bit of damage now. The suppression is coming through. The tank is pushing up close to him, and he has a lot of firepower. Sees the movement. The suppression is in. The enforcer is firing from another angle to keep him pinned. Right on top of him now. No man there. Easy kill from behind. And developers take the lead. 1 round to 0 on our decider map.
Not good, bro.
So,
the pressure's on, man. The community team folded.
Chance for our players, our community players, to swing it back. They do have a chance, but it's a long way to go. Long ask to go with. As we are prepping it up, we do have a couple of other points from our features to talk about that we didn't get to before. What is the character smith and the weapon loader? You talked briefly that we will have customization and that we will have control over what our characters look like here in the PvP, like you do in the single player. But exactly how much customization are we going to get?
So for the open beta, we allow only cosmetic customization to the character and to the weapons themselves. So you can whatever you have access to in the main game, you will have access to in the PvP open beta. So you can put a ghillie suit on your tank if you so wish.
All right. Oh, okay. No, that is actually also a note at the end of our gameplay preview because of the slight delay in the draw and the pushing it back. That 1 victory is all they needed, and our devs are victors here then, coming out on top there at the last minute with a straight comeback, technically, 3 maps in a row. Final marker. They're looking very pleased with themselves over there. We'll see them a little bit later on. Final thing then
so
to talk about
is the sound marker. We saw them used very well in the last couple
of rounds there on Deforestation.
I mean, that's a big part of
because of the shots
playing the game, right?
Yellow blips. Talk to me about those. What is the sound marker?
Well, like in reality, when you shoot a weapon, you create a lot of noise, and essentially you tell everyone that you're there. It's no mistake about it. You're going to be around the position where you hear the noise, but the sound marker is not pinpoint accurate. It's going to present information around your exact position.
All right, so it's a nearby thing.
It's a nearby thing.
Oh, so that's good. So that yellow sound marker is not going to be exactly right on. It's going to be proximity, which makes it more fair.
All the things we just talked about and give you a good insight on those features. But first of all, Lucian, thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you for giving all this insight, for helping out with everything we've done here on the stage. That is the last we're going to see from you this afternoon, so thank you again. And you guys enjoy this trailer. We'll be back in just a moment with a last little snippet of information.
With Ghost War, the PvP mode for Ghost Recon Wildlands, we want you to live the ultimate co-op experience in the 4v4 team deathmatch, focusing on teamwork, strategy, and tense tactical engagements. Hi, my name's Seb and I'm the Associate Dev Test Lead on Ghost Recon Wildlands Ghost War. As a reminder, Ghost War will be released as a free update for all Wildland owners. In Ghost War, you win by eliminating the entire enemy team. Team play is at the heart of the mode, and both communication and strategic skills will be required to best your opponents. You can decide to move together, split up and flank your enemy, or try to sneak behind them to attack from the shadows. You need to figure out which strategy works best for each situation. But no matter the odds, remember, individually you can be great, but together you'll be unbeatable. In the battlefield, you will need to be flexible and adapt your playstyle to your surroundings. You fight across beautiful landscapes of Bolivia and some iconic locations from Ghost Recon Wildlands. Through open and closed environments, dense and desertic settings, every map will present a new set of challenges, which will test your ability to adapt your strategy and survive. Time of day and weather will also influence the way you play. For example, a dark rainy night will help you hide and be harder to spot, but will also decrease your visibility. Taking all those elements into account will help you turn disadvantages into opportunities. Each battle you fight will be different thanks to the 12 different classes available at launch in Ghost War. It's up to you to master their unique abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. For example, the Assault class excels at middle or close range combat. Long-range fighters will want to pick one of the marksmen, while the support classes, all equipped with their own drones, can take the responsibility of assisting and guiding their teammates. Which combination of abilities will be the right counter to the enemy team? Do you attract your enemies on one side with a tank while going around their backs with the assassin? Or do you rely on the sniper on the outskirts of the map, made undetectable thanks to the tech drone jammer? We cannot wait to see the strategies and tactics you'll come up with in Ghost War. While all classes come with a preset look, you'll also be able to fully customize them to your liking or even recreate your ghosts from your main game. Now, let's take a closer look at the 6 new key features of Ghost War. Hunting down your enemies and finding where they hide without being seen yourself is at the heart of Ghost War. That's where our first feature comes in, marking. In Ghost War, you're able to mark enemy players in order to share their position with your teammates. Classes equipped with drones, such as the Scout or the Artillery, will force the enemy team to adapt their plans. While marking will be easier with a drone, all classes can also use their binoculars as well as their scope or crosshairs to spot enemies. When you are marked, the entire enemy team will know where you are. However, as soon as you get out of sight, your mark will fade and eventually disappear. A marked opponent will be notified when he's being marked. With that in mind, you can also decide to not directly aim at your enemy to make them believe that they have not been detected yet. Some class abilities and perks can affect elements of marking, like reducing the amount of time the mark lasts, or notifying you faster if you are marked by an opponent. A recon antenna is present on every map and will allow you to locate and mark the entire enemy team if you manage to hack it. While being a powerful tool, the recon antenna is very exposed, and the enemy team will be notified as soon as the hacking begins. Marking enemies is a key element of Ghost War, but it's not the only feature that allows you to locate your opponents. Another new feature is the sound marker. When firing a shot, the enemy team will receive an indication of the approximate location for which the shot was fired. With this in mind, you have to think twice before firing your weapon. No matter how good the shot, revealing your position or staying hidden needs to be part of your strategy. You can also try to bait your enemy to another location. For example, by using the noisemaker drone of the Diversionist class. Every choice you make in Ghost War will have a consequence.
Oh yeah, I like that. Noisemaker diversion drone. The guy thought somebody was out there, came out there and got snot from the balcony above. Nice.
Your sight will be greatly diminished. Suppression can be used in several ways. You can suppress enemies to make them retreat, or prevent them from moving. You can also suppress them to prevent them from shooting at your squad mates. Or, you can blind them from a distance, to allow one of your teammates to sneak under their sight. In Ghost War, your health does not regenerate. After an intense firefight, you might find yourself low on ammo.
Santos. Remember where we have to go kill all the
health and ammunition crates will allow you to restock an ammo and health. However, you need to remain careful, as their position can be tricky or exposed. Sometimes, you will not be able to reach a crate in time and will fall down on the
That's not a very big map either.
Don't worry, your teammates can come and revive you.
That'll be a small one.
When you're down
so
the Ghost
like
War,
the desert one.
You're not out of the game, as you can expect that your teammates have been monitoring their surroundings. Down players become dynamic objectives. Guard or booby trap them to eliminate unsuspecting enemies. At the end of the game, you can be the last member of your team alive. Yet the fight is not over. To even the odds, you'll receive an adrenaline rush that will temporarily increase your stats. During this time, you cannot be suppressed, your health regenerates, and your stamina never depletes. You will also be able to revive your teammates faster, and maybe be able to see it through to victory.
Oh, that's a good.
We are extremely excited to see what strategies and tactics you'll use to
nice.
prevail in this intense and tactical PvP mode.
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen. That is Ghost War. You've got a full live gameplay preview, you've got a features rundown there in that last video, and it is looking fantastic. We also are proud to announce and happy to announce that there is going to be full post-launch support for the PvP mode of Ghost War. There's going to be more classes, more maps, lots more customization, and all kinds of gameplay, especially new game modes coming for that. So that's not the only one you're going to get to play. I do have our unfortunate second place team here now with me on stage. First of all, thank you all for taking part and thank you all for playing. But Blackbeard, we're going to talk to you a little bit because you and Weaver had a lot of rivalry back and forth with those sniper duels. So tell me, what were your favorite moments in the game? What were your favorite maps perhaps? Because Quarry was a very intense one for you two.
Yeah, I think Quarry was like fun for sniper duels because it was like really close range, but I actually preferred the force maps. You can really sneak up on them. Like sometimes you'd sit in the bush next to them, nobody knows.
Yeah, we saw that
somebody moves. It's a lot of fun, yeah. Really enjoyed it.
Fun. Robo, I want to talk a little bit. You played more of the tanks, as you said, and the tank we saw very well used by the developer team in that last game, pulling the marks after you used the recon tower so many times. How do you feel that the tank and the enforcer you guys played really going to affect the meta game as the game evolves?
I think the tank really suits their style well of staying there because they don't go for the recon tower, and if we go for the recon tower, they immediately get it off there and they reposition, so we don't know where they are. And the Enforcer's suppression is very, very strong. You cannot aim down sight. You can barely even see.
Yeah, very, very strong indeed. So, first of all, I first have to congratulate the community team for getting here. You, as I said, were some of the best players in the closed beta. You're taking yourselves home a collector's edition of Ghost Recon itself, as well as all those 511 goodies around there. We also have some very specialized, personalized dog tags for the four of you to come to time. So, first of all, Eroctic, these ones are for you. Second of all, we go through to Robo Mohawk, third and fourth. Blackbeard taking the fourth one. These have been in my pocket all day, nicely there. And finally, Krebs TV, congratulations to you as they come on out with your personalized dog tags. Thank you guys very much for being here.
Cool.
Finally, thank you. Finally, thank you to everyone that's joined and watched at home.
I'd be stoked just going to Paris, man, get the hangout, eat all the food and drink, and go around and see the sights
together. And we are not quite done yet. You might need to refresh your streams because we're going to fresh on over to North Carolina, where UB Amper is going to show our community hangout and, of course, announce the winner to our raffle. So if you had entered in that backpack raffle, want a chance to win that, don't forget to tune in and stick around for
better
that.
go do that one more time here real quick.
Thank you to all the team behind the scenes that helped put this on. Thank you guys for viewing it, and have a great night.
Superior tactics.
Yep, gotta get in that raffle.
This is what made you a ghost. Now, others believe they can take you down. It's time to prove
So this is pretty cool. I'm having a good time watching this. I really appreciate everybody taking the time again to watch this with me. I'm stoked. I'm looking forward to doing this whole thing. I think it's gonna be fun. Especially since they say you get to use your own character smith, so that means all the stuff that you already have in the main game, as far as your clothes and your outfits and all that, you'll be able to do that. So that'll be great. And apparently going to have different play modes coming out down the road, so that's even better. So I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good way of people getting in there and getting together with your task force and your friends and having a good time again. I think that was the part that was slowing down, man. We're all getting a little bit bored. We all did tier mode, and we'd all done the missions and everything, so everybody started playing other games for the last few weeks other than, and we get together for the challenges occasionally, but no, this will be given as a good reason to hang out. So here we go. Be coming up next is going to be the post show. For everybody that's hanging out and watching this. But yet, I think this is pretty darn good. Looks like they're doing their best. And we don't have to start this again because this is the way this crazy thing works. So let's see how long it's going to be until it starts up. Where do we go now? This guy's like, where do we go now? Just relax, dude. It'll come back. It will come back. Trust me, it'll start again. We're just switching over from the Paris, France studios to UB Amper's place in North Carolina. Now, what would have been cool is everybody who was watching the stream, if they handed out like a key, because only 1,800 of us or so watching the stream, they would given us a key because, again, I preloaded it already. It preloaded this morning. All of a sudden, that, and also on the Division, the 1.8 patch is out. So when I get done streaming, I might start streaming the Division because they just updated that, and that's going to have player versus player, not in the dark zone, but in the actual game world. And then there's a whole new dock area that just opened up, so I'll probably stop streaming this and I'll start streaming that once this all gets done. But yeah, make sure you run up onto your PC, Xbox and PlayStation, do the same thing, go to the store, and you should be able to, yeah, see, it's archived my streaming because it stopped for so long. Sorry. It's being stubborn, so don't bail on me. It's coming back, I promise. Here you go. See? So give it a second here. This video should be done, and we should be on to UB Amper in North Carolina for the wrap up and all that good stuff. But then this video will automatically archive and upload. It does that automatically, so you'll be able to go back and download this stuff and keep these for yourself. That's why I went ahead and did it on the YouTube, because I figured it'd be a hell of a lot easier doing it that way. So people wanted to look at this crap later and when they get a chance, or you might not even see this, and tonight when you get home, you got a notification saying that I streamed something. Well, this is what I was streaming for you since you were at work today. Yeah, everybody's putting their raffle thing in. Yeah, let's do it one more time.
Hey everybody, Keeba here, community
here you go.
For North America for Ghost Recon.
Okay, now it's gonna may take a little bit for them to get their stream up.
Really
it's up to 720, so
it's really awesome to finally get to talk about Ghost Recon. I've been a friend of Ghost Recon.
Now the volume's real low because that's them.
Community manager on Tom Clancy's The Division, but I was very involved with the early development process for Ghost Recon for sure. I was a Ubisoft star player for Ghost Recon at last year's E3. It was a really awesome opportunity, and I got to hang out with a lot of people. And I actually was flown out to the Paris studio to actually play the PvP and actually meet Keeba for the first time, and it was an awesome opportunity. And it's really cool to finally see the process finally come full circle after talking with the devs and meeting a bunch of
hopefully they realize their volume's down. Yeah, see, everybody's saying the same thing. They did that the last video. It took them a few minutes, and they tweaked it.
I don't think we have a release date just
so I apologize. Nothing we can do on our end. I tried, but nope. It's them.
So that is awesome to see. So we have a lot of open beta stuff to talk about today.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. Yeah, we don't have the date for the release yet, but it won't be long after the open beta.
Crossing my fingers.
Yeah, it's so exciting though, and I think we actually saw your face earlier in one of the videos.
Okay,
for the
well, I'm gonna go full
and
screen. Like I said, it's their stream. It's not my stream. So
it's one thing to be playing on video
if it goes up to 1080, I'll kick it up to 1080 for you guys.
Yeah. I'm very good at it, so.
Oh, whatever.
I'll stick to Ghost Recon.
So the first order of business today is we had some raffles.
Okay.
And we had a raffle for one of the amazing 511 tactical backpacks. We had 6 of them to give away, and it is time now to actually announce our winners.
Well, Sergeant Nick Fury, like? That would be cool.
We don't have any of the 511 ones, but we do have a backpack that we'll show in a little bit.
Okay.
But let's see. So our amazing winners of the 511 tactical backpack raffle, that is hard to say. My goodness. Okay. Are No110, Zulkarnin 786. I am probably butchering that name and I apologize.
You guys are out there somewhere. It's okay.
We're going to reach out to everybody that won.
Wow,
so
their audio's
okay.
effed up. But that's cool.
T-Cut95, Spaced Out White Boy, OK Glenn, and Cicadym. I'm just going to spell this one. Cicadymn. And those are our winners.
Hey, congratulations all you guys for getting that 511 backpack.
One of our amazing mods is going to reach out to you into your inbox.
Cool.
And so we will be reaching out to you.
It's very nice of them to give out those gifts to everybody.
Get your backpack to you.
They didn't have to give out anything, you know.
And if you don't want it, I'm going to take it. So I really suggest you guys claim those as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
And you know what? If you didn't win one, you can go to the 511 Tactical website and order your own.
Right.
Or our amazing people at the UB Workshop have made Ghost Recon backpacks.
Oh, there you go.
Where you can get like the nameplate on it. On the inside, it's got the ghost skull.
Yeah, they have that at the UB store. Cool. I think they're $79.95. They're actually pretty
and while
reasonable
you're there,
priced.
you can get a Ghost Recon hoodie. We've got the book. They also
have... What about
have
the MG49 that you got sitting back there? Can we order one of those too?
I'm going to call it a scarf, but I'm sure that's not what it's called.
No, but yeah, so check out the UB Workshop because they got lots of cool stuff.
Cool, cool.
So we saw some amazing PvP today.
Finally, I'm very excited to be talking about it. Again, it comes out, the PvP open beta starts on the 21st.
Yes, that's Thursday. People can download it now.
You can preload it right now. Platforms?
All platforms.
Across all platforms. Awesome. And PvP progress doesn't save over to the main full release, does it?
Correct. No. The beta progress won't carry over to the main game, or like once it actually releases.
Okay, so all the kills that I get on the 21st, they're just not. That's not a thing.
Gonna have to get them again. That's okay. Fresh start.
It's fine. I just
figured
I'd throw it out there.
There you go.
But, so
let's see
to give a brief run through on all the classes.
Nope, that's all they're running at.
Fall onto, right?
Correct.
Assault, support, as well as marksman, right?
Correct.
The assault category, I want to say, houses the point man as well as the tank. Out of those two, which ones are you more likely to?
I like to be in there, up at the front.
So you're the tank kind of guy?
Yeah, I'm a tank type of person. I want to be up there, just like eating faces.
I always recommend the point man for.
You should see her in her Star Wars outfit dancing around. It's like hilarious.
Just because assault rifles are a very powerful.
Some crazy Star Wars thing.
Weapon in the game for all you guys that do play a lot, and they are immune to suppression as well as flashbangs too, so that's a really cool thing to see. But the tank has a special ability, as Lucian was going over with Panky, that removes all of the marks off of your teammates.
Correct. The tank can take all the heat onto itself, so if you're playing the tank and all your teammates get marked, you can use your special ability and then take all that firefight onto your
Nice.
And what about
that's a good thing right there. I like that.
Tower and all the marks are on all of your teammates. Still works.
Yes.
Still works. So that's a very powerful tool.
Yes, so. It's going to be really, that's going to be a really good one to use in a pinch.
And what about the support category? Because we do offer a lot for you guys that want to play the supportive role as well. Scout class, SMGs, you can throw a drone up that does mark your enemy's last known location, so super helpful. But what about the other support class available, the artillery?
The artillery is, so say you've got a sniper, like we've seen it in the trailer. You got the sniper hiding up on the hill, been picking your teammates off left and right. You could bring in the artillery, and it's just game over. That sniper gets dunked on.
So a lot of area denial, keeping enemies from fleeing or moving into specific locations. And speaking of the marksman classes, I mean, sniper is something that I really liked playing when I was playing an early build of the PvP. Marksman rifles, high caliber rounds can penetrate certain objects, very powerful weapons. But what about that other marksman class that we have?
The other marksman class.
Advanced suppression, downrange, very powerful, really awesome class to use. And there's a lot of checks and balances here with the classes, and like I said, I'm really looking forward to seeing how other people play the PvP, because in our closed sessions in Paris when we did play, we had limited classes, and it was interesting to see what classes.
Well, yeah, because that was just like a technical.
Get one class per side.
Build, yeah.
And it's going to be very.
I think it'll get better. I think by the time the full game comes out, they'll even polish it more,
so to speak. So
based on all the input and feedback they get from everybody. So I think we can. I think it's going to be great.
Here, correct.
But I think at the end of October, first week in November, because it ran from the closed beta. That has been about 6 weeks.
Up to you guys shortly, but it was really cool to see sniper and point man squads of 2 pushing into certain specific locations of the map. Scout is something that I would recommend everybody to run.
And of course, we're thinking that they're going to have some type of Halloween Easter egg, because we have that devil's mask, right? That's floating around right now.
Exactly.
So there's different
and the devil patch thingy. So somehow, I think that's all going to tie into something.
The more people get.
Remember, I did the Legend of LTO
and I'm really
video a few weeks ago, where you go find him in the mine shaft down there. The miners all come down there and hang out with him.
Because I remember we have one very active community member who likes to tag himself as aggro scout, because he will be like right in the front of things with a sniper rifle, just like running around with a sniper instead of like sitting back. And I don't know, I like watching creative uses.
Oh, she just like that dude right in front of the whole frickin' world, man. Just put his name out there, said he's a lamer and runs around with a sniper rifle. Ouch.
Making it work. Like, I think that's really cool.
That
so.
gotta hurt.
The maps. In the open beta,
I thought she was going to say he's like a really good player and all that stuff, but he's not running around with a sniper rifle.
12 classes coming as
Instead
well.
of being back like he's supposed to be.
You guys a slice of everything that's coming in the open beta.
She's
so
tough.
There's plenty more to see. There's plenty more combinations coming, not just classes but maps as well. In the main
I don't know what name Keeba plays under, but I don't know if she plays under that name
Quarry
or
map is
what.
very small. Scout
Get off your phone, damn it! Quit texting.
Marksman rifles might not be as useful, but something like the point man and
She's
the
like,
tank
no, it's important.
Be something you guys are going to want to pick up as well. Lumber mill, same thing. A lot of forested areas on either side, but a little bit more condensed. But I'm really excited to see what other maps we have available for you guys, and as soon as that launches full time.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. I know everybody's been waiting a long time for the PvP.
Myself included.
Yeah, believe me too.
I speak for. I want to say that I speak for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, but watch what happens now. As soon as this comes out on the 21st, you go look at the forums, and they're going to be all flooded with people complaining about they don't like this and they don't like that. Why can't I do this? And why can't I have that? It's like, oh man, just put in your input. Calm down, kids.
Be available for us to play in the open beta.
They'll have a lot of stuff to go through. I mean, you know, they're going to really look at everybody's comments that they make. Take everything to heart.
At the Twitch chat and see.
So it makes more sense instead of just leaving everything negative, actually try to be detailed as like what you don't like, oh this sucks or that sucks,
I was talking about as far as aggro scout goes.
Try to.
You were absolutely correct.
Because your comments do go far. Trust me, they listen to all our comments.
Let's see. The preload is available today, so you can go ahead and preload the beta. Now this is available to everybody, so whether you have the game or not, you can go ahead.
Whether you have the game or not,
correct.
You could download the open beta. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even need the game to play the beta. The beta is sort of open to everybody, which is sort of cool. It'll be under your free games. So go look under your Uplay launcher or Xbox, PlayStation. Yeah.
Automatic update for you.
So which is really nice of them to do that. So because again, they want to get people interested in the game itself. And then of course on the Xbox and PlayStation, you guys, you also have a 5-hour free version of the whole game, right? We don't get that on the PC yet. So that is going to be great. So you guys can actually play the full game for 5 hours, and then you'll be able to play the open beta for 4 days.
There will be customization in the PvP. You will absolutely be able to still customize your character.
Oh, I know what she's doing. She's reading the chat.
Bushwookie-ish
is what she's reading.
Yes, looks so good.
That's what she's reading.
Let's see what else. So if you took part, I see somebody asking about whether they'll need to re-download if they took part in any of the.
Oh yeah, they're gonna give awards.
You will. It's a fresh download. We've updated some things. You'll be able to head over to the open beta forums, and we actually have a thread up about everything that we've updated since previous betas. So there are some new things, so you will need to re-download it.
Just off the stream itself, I remember Lucian had said something about the artillery being less damaged.
Let's ask him about awards.
Being more of a supportive role.
Yes.
As it should be, because it's in the supportive umbrella. So less damage, but more crowd control in CC. So that's great. That's a great change to see, among a bunch of other things, I'm sure.
We definitely listened to the feedback that we had received in previous betas and wanted to, update things according to what people said they wanted. I mean, this ultimately, this is for you guys. It's for the community. It's for the fans. So we
that's going to get buried pretty quick, I think.
We tried to take as much feedback as we could and really implement it.
I'm trying to put that one in there. Yeah, see how fast it's getting.
The best it could be.
Right. And
wow, the stream dropped down though, man. It was.
Yeah,
2,000 people, man. They all bailed.
We're always listening to feedback.
Then this is the part where they're going to give you all the information.
Me personally, always on the forums, looking at the.
So this is the part you want to stick around and listen to.
Looking at some other things that people are saying, there will be custom lobbies. Custom lobbies is a thing.
That is awesome. So if you want some clans of yours to get in there for some 4v4 action, that is absolutely available to you. I know I'm getting a squad of 3, my best guys.
Pro League. Somebody wants to know about Pro League.
Those Breakfast Club guys.
Yeah, teamwork's going to be key. If you know your squad mates, at the very least, have a way to communicate, because it's it's going to be rough.
Oh yeah.
It's extremely. You're going to need to work together. That's all I'm saying. Teamwork is going to be extremely key in this. Let's see. I see something about vehicles. We don't have any vehicles in the PvP.
Unfortunately.
The maps are really well structured for the 4v4 format.
Yeah, see my comment got buried. Wonder if there's a way to put my comment back in there again.
They are sectioned off pieces of the Bolivian world that everybody knows well.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So lines were drawn and.
But there. Oh
wow.
The PvP, the maps, vehicles.
Because you know how I was hoping to give a weapon or something for doing the.
You won't miss them. You definitely won't miss them.
Beta.
Let's see.
Come on.
Just looking out. We want to answer as many questions from you guys as possible.
Send them over.
So, let's see. Yes, that big crayon you will be able to customize. So, that is a thing. And I don't want to answer the same question.
Well, everybody's excited about the same things. PvP's here, customization's here. What about the vehicles? It's all part of it. It's all part of Ghost Recon as well, so it's to be expected.
It's all, that is very true. So anyway, so I want to know about what your absolute personal strategy is.
Okay.
Well,
it's fair if you don't want to.
First off, she's trying to look at the frickin' chat on her phone, which is retarded. This dude, you guys can set up like a little screen and shit for her there off the side that you could actually see what the hell she's doing.
Early builds that we played.
That's like crazy.
Marston was my go-to class, 100%. And again, that might change as we release more classes for you guys. And again, there's going to be 12 total, so there's a lot to pick from. But that system of action and reaction is definitely going to change the way I play, and of course, depending upon the map, marksman might not be the best choice. But for those open, Deforestation map is just one example of it. High peaks, cater to the edge of the map with my buddies, and again, have a point man up front, trying to scout as much of the area as I can, and give the call out, because you said.
Well, I don't know, guys. It's like now they're just sort of going over a lot of crap that we already know already.
Because, again, there's so many different variables here, and again, if I see an
to me, it would have been better had they had it scripted and had something they could just read from with all the stuff on there instead of trying to ad-lib all this.
So they know exactly where
ad-libbing's not working.
If a scout goes up in the air, they know exactly where you are. Again, unless you have a tank can take the mark off of me. So there's different ways to play the game, and it's going to change based on a total number of factors. So.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to be fluid in your gameplay is going to be another really key point if you want to bring in that victory for your team.
Well, again, I appreciate everybody watching, but I'm going to stop this for now. But I am going to stream here in the next hour or so the Division,
should be available,
because again
they should be available for everyone. So you can go
and
ahead
all
and
these everything she's reiterating. If you looked at the video I just did the other day, it's going to have all this stuff in there. And if you can go to there's a link to the forum and has an FAQ with all the stuff you're